Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. How are you all doing? Thank you so much for staying up and being part of this night with me. Welcome to everybody who is joining on TikTok, to my YouTube family. Thank you so much for being here. How are you all doing? I hope that you had a wonderful and a productive Sunday and you are all blessed and taking care of yourselves. And most importantly, are you staying narc free, everybody? Hello to everybody joining us from Facebook. I hope that you are all well. Thank you so much for being here this lovely Sunday evening. How are you all doing? And where are you watching from? Thank you, Tanya, for being here. I appreciate you. Hi, Eileen. Hi, Danny. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, everybody on TikTok and Facebook. Thank you for being here. And how is everybody doing tonight? I hope that you are all doing well. And for those of you who have been not free for any amount of time, go ahead and share your details. Like, how long have you been narc free? Let us celebrate you. What are you celebrating for all the November babies? Happy birthday. And I hope that you are continuing to take care of yourselves and honoring yourself. So tonight I wanted to talk to you a little bit about reclaiming your soul after narcissistic abuse. Oh, so Rosemary's chiming in from Singapore. Well, thank you for joining us all the way from Singapore. I'm glad and I appreciate you being here. Hello in Barbados. Thank you so much for being here. So we're talking about reclaiming our soul after narcissistic abuse. Congratulations on being 6 months narcissist free, Eileen. We are so proud of you. Hello, my North Dallas family. I hope that you are well. I'm here in the North Dallas too. So thank you for being here. So listen, reclaiming your soul after narcissistic abuse. I have been thinking about that title for a little while, and it was like, well, why soul? Why soul? Why not your heart? Because it's our heart that hurts. But then, we tend to dive a little deeper here and we ask ourselves, well, what's really going on? Because the narcissist comes along and they bring their drama and confusion into our lives and they play all their games and do the most to actually hurt us and try to hinder our progress as well as our lives. But this assault, it's not on our heart. And so we cannot lie to ourselves, so we cannot diminish what we experience at the hands of the narcissist, and not actually tackle the problem. I think when we continue to focus on, my heart hurts so much, or I'm just in so much pain, we don't ever really tackle the root cause, or, we don't ever do the work to truly heal so that we don't encounter this. Because oftentimes you see like it's one narcissist after another and another. And it's like, why do I keep encountering these type of people in my life? What am I not doing right? And I think, part of it lies in the fact that we don't heal correctly. And there's still an opening that needs to be healed. And so it's important that, we go back to the basics and we do the work to continue to heal our soul. Now, for those of you who are wondering, like, what is she talking about? Why the soul? Well, let's talk about the soul for a minute, because it's not your heart that the narcissist comes after when you get into an entanglement with them. It's not a relationship. I don't care even if we're married to them. It's not a relationship. It is them getting involved for their benefits. It's a transactionship. Narcissists never get into a relationship for anything but their own benefit. So even if they're seeking different positions in companies or in, society or just in life and in, again, families, it's about what they get out of it. So even when they become parents, even when they take on spouses, even when they adopt children, it has absolutely nothing. As if that person is a narcissist, then there's a reason why they're doing this why they acquire people. Just like we buy shoes, we buy, gadgets for the kitchen, for the house. That's how narcissists view people. They have to get something in return. So why, right? That's the question. Why would they do this? It's really that it's very simple. they need that fuel. They need this, the narcissistic supply. They need that fuel. Can and here's the thing, narcissists, like, they're really easy to figure. And once you figure them out, you can always stay a step ahead of them. And that's why it's so important that when we actually do the work of healing, we do the work of healing and we get down to the nitty gritty of it so that we can heal once and for all. So one of the first things, I'm trying to talk about why they affect the soul, right? So your soul matters to the narcissist because they're an empty shell. They have nothing inside of them except, sewer water, nothing more, nothing less. There's nothing on the inside of the narcissist. So all they need is somebody else's soul, because they need multiple supplies of multiple fuel sources. So for them to have multiple fuel sources, they need to have multiple personalities, because they have no personality and they cannot use their own repeatedly over, with other people. So they're going to impersonate the different people that have come in and out of their lives so that they can attract you. So it's your soul that they've been siphoning the whole time. And it's your soul and the souls of the other people in the narcissistic harem that they are going to use over time. So your soul has been assaulted, your soul has been trampled on, your soul has been siphoned, your soul has been sucked away at, your soul has been poked and prodded and hurt, and you feel depleted, you feel hurt, you feel lost, you feel confused, you just feel empty and dejected. And it's crazy because when you try to explain this to other people, you go to your friends, you go to your family, and you tell them, like, hey, this is what's going on, or this is what I've experienced. And they don't understand. They don't get what you're saying. They are telling you, oh, you're being dramatic. She's such a wonderful woman. I just don't see how you can say these things about her. Or he's such an amazing man. Why would you lie about him like that? 9 out of 10. The narcissist has already been working on your family. They've been working on your friends, your acquaintances, sometimes even your coworkers, telling them that you are the terrible person, telling them that you are the one who is mistreating them, and that, they're fearful for their lives. They're fearful about what will happen as far as the relationship is concerned, or they even give them the heads up that this might not last long because she's unsteady, she's not stable right now. So they've already been laying the groundwork. And so now here you go, trying to pour out your heart, cry your soul out, and share with people that you would normally go to for support, for guidance, for strength, just to exhale, really. And you're met with resistance, you're met with opposition, you're met with, well, maybe if you weren't the one doing A, B, C, D, and you're like, what? First of all, that's not me, but they're not believing you. And one reason why they won't believe you is the narcissist is so charismatic, and everything that they do makes them so believable. And mind you, they've been love bombing, okay? They've been love bombing your family and your friends to make them feel like, or just to set them up for the role that the narcissist wants them to play. Because narcissists live in fantasy land. They live in fantasy land, and they manufacture situations, they manufacture drama to fit out a particular narrative. So everybody in their life plays a particular part. They play a particular role. And so the narc is going to, they've already been prepped for the role that they're going to play and how they should respond once you go and, try to tell your side of the story. So they're not even trying to hear you. And so there's that rejection that you feel like, oh my gosh, this was my safe place. And these are the people that I would normally talk to when I experience these things. But because of what I'm going through, because of what, this person has done to me, I have nobody to go to now, because they're now flying monkeys and they're working in tandem with the narcissist. They're in cahoots. They're the flying monkeys, and they gang stalk you. They just terrorize you, basically. So there's no support. And then for those other people that you go to and you talk to them, and they don't understand, because it's not everybody who has experienced this, right? And so we can say collectively, we've been in a narcissistic relationship for some time, but only some people see it. Not everybody that has been with us in this relationship over these last several years is actually aware, because they don't understand what the gaslighting is like. They don't understand the smear campaigns that are going on, or the triangulation, projection, and all the other drama, the alternate reality that somebody else is living in. And so they're like, you're crazy. I just don't see why you would even blame somebody or say those type of things. But there is lack of support. That's right. And we can't go, the narcissist obviously is not going to support you. But a lot of the times, the narcissist never leaves the situation until they're set up where they need to go. And the narcissist is always, 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 they are always scouting out new situations. They are always on the prowl for new souls. They are always looking for new sources of supply. Pathological liars, pathological cheaters. That's what they are. They're never faithful. Some people say, well, my narc. Well, first of all, that's not your narc. That's a whole crazy person. Don't claim them for yourself. That person has never been faithful to you, whether they were cheating on you physically, which is more than likely, emotionally, more than likely, sexually, everything. They've been doing all of it. And so, they're always looking for other people. They're always looking for somebody to fill your position. They're always grooming somebody. And it's not even that it's your position alone, because narcissists tend to run multiple relationships at the same time. You may just not be aware of it, but they have their different levels. Like some will do 2, some will do 3, some will do 4. I've heard of one who had up to 16, which I don't understand how, he was able to juggle that many people, but that's what apparently it was. But that's just kind of how they live their lives. And so when, you go through the love bombing phase, and then now you're going through the devaluation, where you're trying to get support, where you're trying to get somebody to, to help you figure out what is your next move. Because you just don't see your heart invested in this relationship. Hey, I think we have a little Wi-Fi glitch here, but let me know if you can still see me and if you can still hear me. But anyway, there's that whole there's just a lack of connection to the narcissist at this point, because they're devaluing you, and in this phase you're pretty much on your own. And it's that the reinforcement, the negative and the positive reinforcement, that keeps the target, that keeps the victim hooked to the narcissist. That's where the trauma bond is formed. But I want to move away from calling it a trauma bond, because in essence, it's really a soul tie. Because remember, the narcissist came after your soul, your mind, your emotions, and your will. That is what the narcissist ultimately wants from their victims, your mind, so that they can control you. Your emotions tell you how to feel, dictate how you feel, suppress your emotions, and your will control the things that you do, the relationships that you have, and the things that you allow and disallow in your life. That is what the narcissist wants. Nothing more and nothing less. They didn't come for a relationship. They didn't come to have a family with you. They didn't come to establish a business. They came to take your soul. That's it. Because they lack those things. Narcissists are empty shells. And without empathy, then what kind of life do you have? You can't have any intimacy. You can't have any love. You don't have any real connection to anybody. And so it's those parts of your soul that cause them to feel that they're now able to go ahead and foster those kind of emotions and that type of connection with other people that they will come into contact with. So once they are aware, or once they are sure that they have you where they want you to be, that is when you're going to find out that they discard you. And once they discard you, with a discard, sometimes they push you to discard them. They do all these things knowing that, you're going to get tired of them, or sometimes they want you to be the one to discard them. Other times, you just get, I'm sick and tired of this, and you discard them yourself. But the narcissist really pushed you to do that. Other times you just find that they'll pull the rug from under you and discard you completely. And so you are left there like, okay, what now? You know, no matter how the discard happens, it always catches you by surprise, even if you're the one who's doing it, because you're just forced into a situation that makes you say, I got to get out of this. I can't take this anymore. And you move on. And it's, that's just what it is, So there's that shock, right? There's that shock. The discard is unexpected. It's harsh. It's painful. So you're caught up in your emotions and you're feeling all these different things. But then sometimes you take a look to the side and you can say, thank you for telling me you can see and hear. I appreciate that. Sometimes, you take a look to the side and then you see them skipping off merry like nothing happened with somebody else living their lives. And that cuts even more. It hurts that much more. And, I've seen comments before on this channel, right? Where we're talking about the new supply. And there's a reason why we talk about the new supply. There's because some people are coming out of these relationships like yesterday. Some people are coming out of this relationship 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. They are where they are. It's not our job to say, hey, why do you care about the new supply? Move on, get on with your life. Why are you gaslighting them? It's new to them. This is how they feel. They've just been gaslit by the narcissist. We're not going to do this here. Please don't do it. Think twice before you make these comments, because we celebrate your success. And I'm happy that you are at a position where you are no longer hurt by the thought of the narcissist with the new supply. Great for you. But have some compassion for somebody who's just finding out about this yesterday, the day before, the week before. It hurts. Remember, at one point you were there. So I think, it's important that we do give some compassion, some grace to those people. So please think twice before you comment. Some of the comments are so unnecessary. Think twice, because we're not going to do this here. We're not going to do this at all. I just don't support that. I think it's selfish and I think it's very hurtful, and we're here to heal and not hinder somebody else's progress by, gassing yourself up. I'm happy that you feel good, but lift your brother or your sister up. That's our job, not to make them feel bad. But anyway, let's keep on moving on. So remember, the narcissist groomed you for the abuse. And they also groomed you on how to act in the discard. They also groomed you for that. Because listen, the discard is always going to be an illusion until you take your full power and authority and you say no more, which is what we want to focus on. They will always come back. The narcissist will always come back. They will always, always come back. They're always watching. They're always stalking. You don't have to see them, but they're always going to be there, in the back scenes, just not minding their business. But you know what? That's not our concern. Our concern is getting healthy and getting healed so that we can move on. And one of the first things that I think is so important is that we're honest with ourselves. And sometimes it's really difficult to be honest with ourselves. At least, let me be honest, I struggled with this part because I had to take responsibility and accountability for how I ended up in that situation. And so I had to ask myself, you saw these red flags. Why was it still okay for you to continue to ignore them? And you've got to answer those questions for yourself. We cannot heal what we don't acknowledge. And so it's important that you at least have some honesty to yourself and, accept it. Like, listen, this is why I ignored the red flags. I was lonely. I had invested so much in this relationship that I didn't want to let it go. Whatever it is, it's okay to own it. And there is nothing to be ashamed of. We've all been, if you're watching, we've been in a relationship with a narcissist. We all compromised on some level, but you've got to be honest with yourself. And while you're being honest with yourself and you're acknowledging the reasons, and I'll speak for myself now, okay? I think reasons why I stayed was because, okay, we're going to do this. Okay. So one of the reasons why I stayed is because, like, I was happy, the good times were really good and I liked it. And, we had children involved in the picture, my children, his children, we had children involved. And so when their kids are involved, then it kind of makes it a little difficult to separate, or to pull away because their feelings matter too. And so, that should be, a marker for us going forward, that at what point do we start introducing our children to other people? At what point do we meet other people's children? And, how are we qualifying them to be sure that they're the right person for us to move forward with, so that we don't end up in this situation again. So, I had to acknowledge that, yeah, I settled. I did. I settled. I settled for less than I was, than I deserved. I allowed my boundaries to be violated. And you know what? Your boundaries are so important. Your boundaries are to protect who you are currently, to protect and to preserve who you currently are, as well as who you are becoming. Do not forget that we are growing and we are evolving every day. And so even right now where you are, some people are still in a lot of pain. Some people are still, some people are so forward, or have gone so much further in their healing. But wherever you are, it's important that you surround yourself, or that you have boundaries that will protect and preserve where you currently are. And if you are adequately protecting where you are, then you are protecting and preserving who you are becoming. And it's who you are becoming that I can't wait to hear about. It's who you are becoming that we can't wait to see. Because the assault that was done on your life by this narcissistic creature was against the person that you are becoming. You would not be able to become if you continue to stay in a relationship with a narcissist, simply because all your time, energy, and focus has to be dedicated to them. And I want to remind you that you were not created to be somebody's footstool. You were not created to be anybody's doormat. You are created to go out and be great. You are created on purpose and in purpose. Many people were raised by narcissistic parents. Some people were adopted by them. But I want to remind you today that your divinity or your nativity, your birth, does not define your nativity. It does not define your end point. Do you hear me? It doesn't matter where you started. We're going to focus on where you are going and who you become. Do not allow them to rob your mind. It is your mind, your emotions, and your will. If you lose your mind, your emotions will be all over the place, because there is nothing centering it. The word tells us that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What are you telling yourself? What are you nurturing in your mind? What are you reading? What are you ingesting on TV, in music? What are you putting in your mind? That's why the narcissist comes with those thoughts that attack your mind. That's why you hear them over and over again, belittling you, downgrading you, triangulating you, smearing you, because it messes with your mind. It is your mind that they want. And so if you give them that mind, and I've been saying this for a minute, I know, so I'm beginning to feel like I'm a broken record. But if you give them your mind, they're able to play with your emotions and tell you how you're supposed to feel. They're going to tell you that, okay, today's a good day for you to be happy. The devil is a liar. You be happy every day because you can be happy, because it is a day that the Lord made. And so you are allowed to rejoice and be glad in it. I encourage you to rejoice and be glad in every day that you have, because every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. And I thank you for being here, all of you, because you are all gifts. You are all gifts, and you cannot let this creature that can't even think for itself, that can't feel for itself, tell you how you should feel. No, 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 no. You have to regain your mind so that you can now have your emotions and tell yourself that it's okay to start the process of healing. And your will is always going to follow. Your will follow the very things that you set your mind on. And so, I want to talk a little bit about Lot's wife. Lot's wife, in the Bible, they were living in Sodom and Gomorrah. And the angels of the Lord came before the destruction came to Sodom and Gomorrah to remind them that, hey, listen, you got to get out of here, because something's about to go down and you don't want to be caught up in it. This is what happens to a lot of us when we get in relationships with these narcissists. You know, we feel like something's not right here. But, you know, the narc is looking good. They're talking good. Yeah, of course they're looking good. Look at their father, Lucifer, a beautiful angel, right? Beautiful voice, sweet talker, and prideful. So, you know, the narc came to us sweet talking, just like, you know, and so when we're getting the warning, when we're being told that, you know, and you know, we have this unsettled feeling within us, many people will say, something didn't feel right. You know, it always felt off with this person. I just didn't quite understand what it was. But, you know, we have all these buts, but then we try to start justifying it. That's because we don't trust ourselves. And that's a problem. Why don't you trust yourself? Who told you that you couldn't trust yourself? And so it's important now that you start asking yourself, why do I not trust myself? When did I stop trusting myself? Did I ever trust myself? And you find that a lot of the times, you know, when we are being honest, there's no point in us lying to ourselves. If you truly want to heal and not go back to this place again and never be in this posture of this type of pain, because let me tell you about how I felt. It was like my soul was crushed, and it had nothing to do with my heart. I was hurting on a different level. I had never felt this type of pain before. It was my soul that was crying. It was my soul that was bleeding. It was my soul that was breaking. And so I don't want to experience this type of pain again. And the only way I can not experience this type of pain again is by being honest with myself. And I encourage you to be honest with yourselves too. So, you know, why do we not trust ourselves? Sometimes for some people, you know, it's how you were trained. It's your reality from growing up as a child, that you were never validated. Your experiences and your feelings were never validated, and so you never trusted them. Sometimes you were gaslit when you spoke about how you felt in the home, and so you just didn't trust how you were able to, you know, how do I feel? You don't trust those things. And so, like parents, aunties, uncles, those who will be parents one day, I want to talk to you. Like when we're raising our children, let's allow them to express how they are feeling. Let's allow them to come, no matter how crazy those feelings may be. And we want to just be like, listen, but you know, let's allow them to express how they feel so that they can become confident and comfortable in trusting themselves, so that they don't doubt themselves when they become adults, because there are many adults who cannot make any decision for themselves because they were never validated as children, and so they struggle with that even now. And so, you know, when the narc did first come to the scene in our lives, we didn't trust ourselves. I want to remind you, and I say this all the time, that your intuition does not require any evidence. When we remove all emotion and we take the facts for what it is, your intuition does not require any evidence. So if you have an unsettled feeling and you start eliminating things like, well, am I just, you know, is this just my insecurities or is this an instinct? And when we, you know, go down the line and ask ourselves a few questions about the situation at hand, we're able to get an answer and know that no, this is my instinct. And I want you to know that your instinct is not just some random feeling, but that's the spirit man, your inner man, that is talking to you. And it is good to trust that. It is good to trust that, because just like Lot's wife and them, they were forewarned, and it was angels that told them. So that's you know, that was a divine notice. Okay, it was a divine intervention, and they were able to know that, okay, we can trust this. So trust your instincts. Trust your instincts so that you can protect yourself. Remember, it's about protecting and preserving who we are so that we can become. We can never become if we do not protect ourselves. We're always going to be in a state of recovering and healing, because there's always going to be some type of casualty happening if we do not break this pattern. And if we do not, begin to recognize that, it's okay. It's okay to be knocked down, but let's do the work and move on so that we don't repeat this again. Because we want to live our best authentic life. The narc will let you feel like they're living their best life. But let me remind you, that is not, well, it is their best fake fantasy. It's not real. They're not living any best life. They're going round and round in circles like a dog chasing its tail. That's all it is. And so we're going to take our eyes off of that. God always leads. He's always going to let you know. And so you're going to have that feeling. And so trust it. Work on trusting yourself in the small things, but grow into bigger things so that you can trust yourself and continue to live your best life. Yeah. And so, even so, when those red flags do come up, you're going to be able to trust that the right thing to do. But, when you have this trust in you now, it requires that you put some faith to action here. And that means plant both your feet firmly on the ground. You cannot straddle the fence at all. You cannot have one toe in and one toe out, or 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No, we're not doing no okie dokie, okie pokey, or whatever that is. Both feet firmly planted on the ground. And that means your mind is made up that I'm not going back. And when you say I'm not going back, that's just, I am not going back, period. Yeah, okay. It was fake. Nothing was real. So there is absolutely nothing for you to go back to other than more lies, more tears, possibly STDs, new situations that you're going to find out that were going on behind your back, gaslighting, triangulation, smear campaigns, flying monkeys. For some people, they are hitting you. Financial abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, all of it. We're not going back for that. No. First of all, you were never created for this, okay? You were created from the mind of Christ. So, and he did not create you for any of these things. No matter what sometimes we feel like, maybe I did some things in my life that were bad. So I'm a bad person and I deserve these things. The devil is a liar. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter what was done to you. It doesn't matter what they told you and you took as your truth. You do not deserve this. And so I'm canceling that right now. You do not deserve that. And I don't care what you did. It doesn't matter. All of that, it was canceled by the blood on Calvary's cross. All you got to do is ask for your forgiveness and we can move on. That's it. We can all move on. And so you don't deserve it. Plant your feet firmly on the ground and know that I'm going no contact. I'm going to gray rock. I'm going to do whatever I can, but it's over. 2020, no more. This is it. Today is the 11th of November. No more. Beyond this point, block this joker's phone number. Delete the text thread. Delete the pictures. I remember the day I walked in my apartment and found that joker in my home with his with his friend, his female friend. Listen, that raggedy, dusty behind was in my home, laid up on the couch, eating the kids' snacks, drinking the kids' juice boxes. And my mind was made up instantly that, listen here, you raggedy, dusty behind, you gone. And by the end of that night, which ended up really late, I had burnt every picture, every article of clothing that he ever gave me, or anything that he left. And he left we talked about this on the Impotent Narcissist. He left his little blue pills that used to help him. I didn't know about that, but he left them. Those went down the sink. Everything that was his, every association, everything that connected me to him was gone. It was burnt. It was torn up. It was in the trash. It was down the drain. It was deleted from my phone, from everything. And my feet had to be firmly planted on the ground. That didn't take the pain away. So don't think that, because, I'm saying all these things that may sound like, yeah. It feels like, yeah, in the moment, because I was like, I can't believe he would think that I'm ripping things up. And yeah, it felt good because I was reclaiming some type of power over my own life. But the pain did set in. And that's that pink clouding effect where, you think that, oh, I'm going to go forward in this recovery and be okay. And you are going to be okay. But the pink clouding effect, it's that, when we're coming off of an addiction, when people are coming off an addiction, there's that feeling of a high that I've got this and I'm going to do this. But we come back down every now and then, and reality sets in, like, oh my gosh, there is work that I have to do. And that's fine, because I'm gonna tell you, I was the same one on the floor crying about the same joker that I was celebrating kicking out of my life. But that's part of the process, y'all. We are going to have good and we are going to have bad days, but we are going to keep our feet firmly planted on the ground. Do not give this clown any type of foothold in your life, because when you start this revolving door on your life, and I want to remind you that you are royalty, you are beautiful, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, you are unique, you are the apple of God's eye, you are so loved by him. He didn't create you for that, to be a revolving door for somebody who has not even a single emotion, none, not even no empathy, nothing, can never give you anything out of love. If you have children, does not love the children, uses the children to hurt you. No, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that at all. So feet firmly planted. There is no if, buts, or maybe. No, it's just firmly planted to the ground, and we're going to move forward. It may hurt, and it's going to hurt. It's not even that it will hurt, but we're going to put one foot in front of the other, and we're going to take one day at a time. Sometimes you're going to have to come back and take one moment at a time. Sometimes it's going to be like, okay, just 1 second, because that's all I've got. And that's fine. There is no judging in this. We are trying to move forward. And when you have children, it's also your responsibility now to protect your child. Now that you know that this is a narcissist, you're going to have to show your children abundant amounts of love. You're going to have to show them a lot of compassion. You're also going to have to possibly put your children in therapy. Mine have been in therapy for quite a few years now. And every now and then we may stop the therapy. I may stop the therapy because they're doing good. But then you find, okay, it's time to get back into therapy, because they're acting, especially the younger one, he'll act out his emotions because he may not yet be able to articulate them properly. And he's the only boy here. And so, he might not necessarily feel like he wants to talk to mom about these things, even though we have an open door policy and we do talk about a lot of things. But, I think he may just want that. I want to talk to somebody else, which is fine. Whatever he needs to get to where he needs to be is what I'm going to do. And so, protect your children as much as you possibly can. Love them, and, just let them know. Don't lie to them when they ask questions, but don't bash their other parent, because they're going to internalize that. So don't bash their parents. They'll see it for themselves, though. And that is the truth. Children will always see it for themselves. So we said that we're not going to ignore any red flags, because we do get the warning, and we're going to trust it. We're going to trust our instincts, and we're going to apply faith, put faith into action by firmly planting our feet on the ground. And we're going to get back to our first love. And when I say we're going to get back to our first love, there were many things that we used to like to do in our lives before we ever encountered this narcissist. And so it's time to get back to those things. It's time to get back to, rediscovering yourself. For many people, you may have been a strong Christian, and your faith was good. You read your word, you worshiped, you prayed, and you were fellowshipping, you were doing things that were helping you grow your faith. The narcissist doesn't like those things. The narcissist doesn't like God. And let's not even play. Some of them are in the church, some of them are leaders, but they do not like him. They do not serve him. And they make sure that you don't either. So if that was your passion, then get back to it. Some people gave up working out. Some people gave up, going back to school or pursuing your hobbies, your passions. All of that stopped. It's time to bring all of that right back into focus, because it's going to help your recovery, because it reconnects you to yourself. It reconnects you to your core. It reconnects you to your soul. And that's what we want to do. We want to feed our mind, our emotions, and our will. And so it's important that you get back to the very things that you love. Get back to your first love, wherever it is, get back to those things. Set your things, set your heart, set your mind actually on the things that are above. The scripture says, seek those things that are above and not beneath. But I want you to set your mind to those things, seek those things that are above and not beneath. Why? Because we're reprogramming our mind when we begin to think higher. Because when you're with the narcissist, really, in all honesty, you have to vibrate at such a low level because they are low vibrating beings. That's not to diss them, it's not to insult them, it's not to make anybody feel that they are better than them, but it's just the truth. To be a low vibrating being, I mean, like, listen, they operate in pathological hate, pathological envy, pathological jealousy. They lack empathy. So, with those first four things that I said, how do you think if they're pathologically envious, jealous, hateful, and with no empathy, where did you think they loved you? Like, seriously, show me a narcissist who is not pathologically envious or jealous or hateful. Just, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. And none of them have empathy. So again, they never loved you. And so now it's time to set your mind on those things that are above. Now, what is above? What are your dreams? What is your goals? What do you want from your life? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? Have you asked yourself that? What do you want to be? If the narcissist, like, okay, when they've walked out on you and they've moved on with their, thank you for the scripture. This is it. Yep. Um, here he is. Colossians 3, verse 2, set your mind on the things above and not beneath. That's right. Thank you so much for putting that there, or sharing that with us. But, they don't want you to think for yourselves. And how many times do the narcissists tell you what you like, what you don't like? How they want, no, we'll do what you want to do later. Right now, we're going to do my thing first. You use your mind to focus on my business. No, no, none of those things. Set your mind on the things that are above. Dream bigger. Demand more for yourself. And, it's all easy for me to sit here and tell you dream bigger, demand more, but that requires work. And you have to do the work. If you want the results, then you have to do the work. There's no way that these things fall into your lap, but you have to dive deep into those things. And you can't dive into those things thinking about them because you never get the work done. But if you dive deep into those things, guess what? Your mind will forget them anyway, because like I was saying, they vibrate so low. They vibrate so low because of the things that govern them, that pathological hate, envy, jealousy, no empathy. You're not going to get anything positive from that. You've got to be the polar opposite. So your healing is so essential to the quality of life that you can have afterwards. And you can have a great life, but you have to make that decision. I want to encourage you, I don't want anybody, like I said, I don't want anybody left behind. I don't want anybody to continue to linger in these relationships and not get over this type of pain. You're more than a conqueror through him who loves you. So even this you can overcome. Even this you can overcome, and you've got to trust that you can actually make it through. There are so many of us here, those of you who are on the other side, those of you who have been, narc free for an extended period of time and are okay operating in the no contact. I just need you to drop a comment for the people who are still doubtful or who are still not able to, see that I've got the victory even in the midst of these tears. Because I'm telling you, I was crying tears. I would cry tears. But one thing I did know is that my words were powerful. So even though I cried tears, my prayer was like, thank you for healing my heart, and I was already claiming what I was not feeling, but I just kept on. Thank you for healing my heart, because that's what I needed. And I just continue to speak it. But, encourage each other, continue to uplift each other, and keep moving forward. The longer, if you continue to keep your mind, stuck on this person, you're hindering your own healing, you're hindering your own progress. And so you've got to continue to push forward and move forward. But here's the thing with Lot's wife, we started talking about her. She did a little backsliding. She had that encounter with the angels, like, hello, angels. Told her, nope, we got to move forward. We got to go with no looking back. Let's do this thing. And her whole family is going forward. And, I told you, you got to have your feet firmly planted on the ground. Everybody else had their feet firmly planted on the ground. Everybody was firmly planted on the ground, but evidently she was straddling the fence, one foot in, one foot out. Everybody had their heart set on their first love. Their first love was serving God, and they were trusting him. Even though they didn't have the full answer, they were trusting him. But again, she was straddling that fence. Her heart was not set on the things that were above. There was something that was behind. Was it a curiosity that made her look back? Was it something that she felt that if I really go, will I be okay? What about the life that we'll have? Because there was no answers, as to where they were going, and how would they be okay? How would they be okay? So there was a lot of we have these feelings ourselves. We have these feelings, but she looked back. And there's a danger in looking back, and it may seem like it's so innocent. Well, let me just take a peek. Let me just check out his social media. Let me check out these people because they're all connected. Let me just look back. And what happened to Lot's wife? She turned into a pillar of salt. She turned into a pillar of salt. She turned into a pillar of salt. And she was the only one from that family that did not move forward, or the people that she left with. She was a pillar of salt. She could go nowhere. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to move forward. We want to be able to use our salt in a different way. And for some people, I know I'm here saying, oh, don't look back, don't this. I'm talking about with your heart, because some people, you have children with the narcissist. So how do you not look back when you have children? Don't give them your heart. When you start talking, talk about the facts, talk about what matters, talk about the business that is at hand. You also have to understand that the narcissist is going to try to pull you back in. They're going to use the children as tools, as gadgets that they can pull here and there. So don't allow that. Remember that anything pertaining to the narcissist is always going to be about power and control. It's about power and control, and they want that over you and the children, and they'll use the children to get to you. So you've got to be low contact. For those who cannot be no contact, you have to be low contact. That means, minimize the amount of time that you spend with them or that you talk to them. Only talk about the children. Only talk when you need to talk about the children. Sometimes you need to get a third party to do the talking for you. That means let them do the pickup and the drop-offs. The narc can be as crazy and as boisterous as they want to be, but that's just the rules. Listen, there's a new sheriff in town. The new sheriff is you and your new boundaries, and they don't have to like it. They're not going to like it, but we don't care about that because the narc does not govern us anymore. Listen, we upgraded our personal constitutions, and we are not bowing down to the ways of this crazy people anymore. You've got to firmly planted, your feet firmly planted. So do what you have to do. Get the help that you need, so that you can have somebody help you pick up, drop off the kids. Are your kids old enough to communicate directly with the narcissist? Maybe it's time that they get a phone for Christmas. They can talk to him or her themselves. So don't allow these things to pull you back or hinder you or hold you back. because you cannot move forward. I shared on a TikTok video the other day, about, what my biggest regret was trying to, because I grew up with both my parents, and I wanted the same for my children. And so I was the one who was trying to maintain the contact and all this and that. And he was like, want to be when he wanted to be. And I thought I was doing the right thing. No, I was not. If the narc walks out, let them walk out. If they don't pay their children any mind, it's not for you to chase them down and try to make them be a parent. They don't want to be a parent, and they know they are a parent. So leave them right where they are, and let the children grow. Don't lie to them about where their parent is. I don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. Tell them the truth, but be age appropriate, of course, and leave out your own emotions. And why I say this is because I watched my children as they begin to see him for themselves, how it affected them. That, if I maybe wasn't trying to help, or, trying to keep this relationship going, maybe it wouldn't have hurt them as much. I don't know. But, this is just, my reality. I wish I would not have done that. And so I just encourage you, like, if they're not pursuing the children, don't pursue them on behalf of the children. The children not going anywhere. They know the child, the children are there. They will, when they feel like it, let you know. But also these our kids don't deserve these revolving doors in their lives either. Their lives are not revolving doors for the narcissist and their crazy ways. So yeah. I just want to check this comment. Give me a second. Hi, Candace, and thank you so much. 10 years narc-free, number 1, and 2 years narc-free from number 2, achieving all my goals that I put on the back burner and excited about the future, also working on coaching certification so that I can help others. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Candace. We are so proud of you, and we celebrate your success with you. And we can't wait till you are certified and you begin to step out and embark your own coaching career. Let us know, as you progress, so that we can support you and help you, any way that we can serve you, so that you can be in service to other people, because this is what it's about, reaching back and helping other people, because we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And so your testimony is important, and I know that you will help so many people. So thank you so much for your gift, and we appreciate you. Let me see. Thank you so much, Tanya. See, I appreciate you. But the last point that I wanted to make to you tonight, and I'll recap on everything. The first thing was like, learn to trust yourself, so that when you experience or when you witness these red flags, you trust them. So you've got to trust your instincts. Both feet firmly planted on the ground. I think we've said this so many times, right? Also remember, go back to your first love. Go back to the things that you enjoy doing, that you're passionate about. Just like Candace shared, that she's moving forward in her life and helping people. She set her mind on the things that are above. So that's what I want you guys to also consider. How are you going to set your mind on the things that are above? What things are you going to be tapping into? Or, what parts of yourself are you going to tap into, so that you can pull out and help edify the lives of other people? Because you're a gift, and the gift has to give. So, reach back and do the work, so that you can be effective in whatever area that you're called out to be in. And you've got to trust the divine inspiration, trust God for all of this. And do not, be careful about that backsliding, hooking up with a narcissist. Nothing's changed. They're still raggedy and dusty. They're still going to play you. They still have a whole another relationship that you know nothing about, or maybe you know something about, but they're not changing. They're not changing for nobody at all. Nobody. So they're definitely not changing for any one of us. but strengthen your core beliefs. Who am I? Fortify your heart, fortify your boundaries, strengthen your core beliefs, work on your personal constitution. What do you stand for? And now that you know what you stand for, how are you going to improve and get to the better version of that? And how do you plan on protecting that? So one thing that's so beautiful about boundaries is the things that I could allow just yesterday, I can have boundaries for that today. And the things that I allowed 5 minutes ago, I can have boundaries for that right now. Your boundaries, you're allowed to evolve your boundaries at any time. You're allowed to evolve your boundaries at any time, and you don't need anybody's permission for that. So you can continually, work on moving forward. But those are the points that I wanted to share as far as, working on strengthening or reclaiming your soul after the narcissist or after narcissistic abuse, so that you can begin to move forward and enjoy a different type of life, a better life, because life is always going to be better without the narcissist. So somebody is asking, do they ever come back if it doesn't work with a new supply? Even if it works with a new supply, the narcissist is coming back. As long as you let them come back, they're going to come back, and they're going to come back with the same kind of drama, even worse, and treat you worse than they ever did before. Every time you accept them back into their lives, they lose some respect for you, even though they didn't have any to start off with. It's like it just goes down. It goes down the sewer even more. So yeah, they come back. And if you want them to come back and have a relationship with them, you just got to understand that it's just going to be worse. It's going to be worse. There's no timeline on when they come back, but they just do. They just do. If you allow them, they come back. And that's why it's important. That's why we say, it's important that you have boundary. You go no contact or minimize the contact that you have with them. But they will come back. They will come back. That's they hover. They're creatures. They're creatures of habit, and they always return to the scene of the crime. They always want to know, what are you doing and what's going on in your life? And so you have somebody better. I'm on my way to mess that up for you. They never come back with any good intentions. So Joseph says, when you develop healthy boundaries, it's literally like watching a clown continuously run into a brick wall. Exactly. Because they can't penetrate it at that point. And you know what? When you have boundaries, though, they can't stand it, because it's like a firm no. And it's like, rules. They don't like rules. They hate those things. And so, it irritates them. So you may find like if you go ahead and go no contact, right? You block them and all those things. Watch how they talk about you. Watch the smear campaign that they run on you. They are going to be livid. Like, who told you could run your life by yourself? You need my permission to live your life. No, clown, we don't. We don't. Absolutely not. And so, they they want to be in control of everything and everybody, but not today, Narc. Absolutely not. And so Lori is reminding us that you can make your own core values and move by them. They will help you make tough decisions, and sometimes our emotions will fight with our spirit, our right moral values about. Yes, you're right. Thank you so much for sharing that and highlighting that. Oh, okay. This is a good point. Narcissists are cheaters. Not all cheaters are narcissists, which is true. Not all cheaters are narcissists, but narcissists are definitely cheaters. Absolutely. I'm just looking to see if there's any questions that I can answer before we end tonight. Do they? So there are. I'm not sure I understand this question. It's saying, are they possessed by marriage dividing spirits? I don't understand the question, Dale Neon One. If you could ask that again or just reframe it, and I'll try to answer that. Here is Joseph. Being narc free is a big step. However, sometimes you fall back. Don't punish yourself. Continue to move forward. Healthy boundaries move to becoming healed and becoming a survivor. You equals power, and you are powerful. That is right. Thank you for saying that and sharing that important message with us. Um, so, what have I done here? Oh. Oh yeah, once the narcissist mask falls off, there is no going back. Once the mask slips, that's really like at that point they don't care because they've revealed themselves for who they are, and now you know who they are, and there is no limits. They're gonna do whatever it is that they want to do, and just be as ruthless, and they don't care at that point. The gloves are off, and they're gonna come. There's nothing. There's no hiding anything at that point. It just, yeah, you're right. Everything does become more clear. Oh, here's my namesake. Hi, Joy. Yes, I thank you so much for being here and, supporting Tanya and I as we move forward in this. Thank you so much for your support of us. Tanya is live tomorrow and I'm going to be joining her. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to have a great chat tomorrow night. So for those of you who are on TikTok, you can join us on YouTube at Just Say No to Narcissist channel. And we're going to have another discussion. And so it's going to be a great topic. But you should visit her channel so you can hear what she's going to be talking about. I just love, why is this topic so heavily promoted on YouTube out of nowhere? I wouldn't say it's out of nowhere, but it's out of necessity because they're coming out of the woods and people are looking for answers. And so our videos are becoming more popular as people become more desperate for answers. And the narc's time is running up because they are being exposed. We're here talking about what's going on. And so it's game time, it's show time, it's time for the narc to be exposed. And so I'm glad that it's being promoted more on YouTube. And thank you for everybody who has been sharing these videos and speaking up and being bold and not being ashamed and limited or hindered by anything that you may be hearing or people telling you. We sick and tired of your stories. Keep speaking. Every time you speak, you are announcing to the enemy that I will not be minimized by you. I will not be intimidated by you. I come in the name of the one who sent me, and I am powerful because he is powerful. And so guess what? It's game time. We gonna talk until until everybody is fully informed and that people are walking in their healing. So it's a great thing that this is being promoted. I wish it would be promoted so much more. Hi, Jesus girl Betty. God erased my mark. Okay, finally, my brother, think on these things that are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things that are lovely. She shared a scripture with us, and that's a great meditation, Oh, I gotta take a screenshot of this. Okay. So there is a question that came through on TikTok, which is a really good one because I actually wanted to do a video on that this week. So the question was really about the spirits that are involved. When we start tapping into the spiritual realm, we're talking about narcissistic abuse in the realm of the spirit and what different spirits are involved. We know that the spirit of Jezebel is part of it, the spirit of Leviathan, there's the Python, there's several spirits because they all work in tandem. And if it's coming from the kingdom of darkness, different spirits have different assignments. But this one here, so the person, he asks his girlfriend, right, about how many spirits are in her. And it sounds like he's saying that she's responding as multiple people in different spirits. I know that, I can see the names of the spirits. I just know I'm not going to say them right. So I can't really, but I'm working on that video. So I'm going to come back and, respond to you in a TikTok video on that, but I'm working on a full YouTube video about those spirits. I've been studying them for a minute, so I can't wait to share that video with you. But these spirits do work in tandem because they're advancing the kingdom of darkness. And that's why it's important that these videos begin to become more popular, even more popular than they already are, because again, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So, people, your testimony is important. Your stories are important. That's why your healing is important. We cannot stay in a state of brokenness, believing that the narcissist is the winner and that they have power over us. That is a lie from the pit of hell. They do not have any power over you. They have power over our minds at one point, but we reclaim our minds and we move forward in peace and in confidence, knowing that better days are ahead of us. Our greater will be better than our latter. So it's I mean, our latter will be greater than our past. But I don't think I said that right. So I think my time is about to be up here. Oh yes, it was Jesus girl Betty saying that she didn't have enough room for the entire scripture, but it was Philippians 4 verses 8. For those of you who want to read that scripture, it was Philippians 4 verses 8. And yeah, we do back this thing up in scripture because we have to go back to the basics so that we can get it to make sense. I don't think there is any way that we can truly heal or overcome this except that we go back to our creator, because a lot of the times when we're in these relationships, the way we see ourselves is what is touched, is what is affected. And again, it's because they come for the soul, the mind, the emotions, the will, and that's going to affect the way we live our lives. And so it's important that we come back to basics. It's important that we come back to the one who loved us, the one who created us, so that we can get that restoration that we need, and that we can, begin to see ourselves again like he sees us. And so, one of my prayers for you always is that, God would restore your mind back to his original intent, so that he would wipe away everything. Like, it's like, God, can you just hit Control Alt Delete on all of the negative programming? And he's able to do those things. There is nothing that he cannot do. And so I just want to encourage you to continue to continue to put him first, to continue to honor yourself. Don't ever feel like you don't matter because that's what they told you or they made you feel, especially for those of you who are raised by raised by them, for those of you who are adopted by them, because sometimes they adopt children for the simple reason of looking good to society, looking good to those people who, are watching them, because they want to be seen as, upstanding and outright citizens in their communities. Meanwhile, the poor children are suffering unspeakable hell in their homes. Although on the outward appearance is just perfect. The babies are well dressed, they appear to be well taken care of, and they look good, but their hearts are shattered. Their souls are crushed. And so, that's why I always tell you, like, and I said it earlier, that your beginning, it does not define your end. So maybe the narc caught you midlife, you were sailing through life and you thought, okay, maybe I've had some kind of, I've had my share of ups and downs, but I found this person who is showing me the love that I've always wanted, right? They show you the love that you think you wanted, and then you realize, like, oh no, this ain't it here. And you experience one of the biggest, in fact, the biggest heartbreak of your life. And so now you don't see yourself right, but it's okay. It was just a bump in the road. It's not the end of the road. It's just a chapter. And I want to encourage you to know that you can turn the page. You can turn the page on disappointment. You can turn the page after divorce. You can turn the page once you find out they're a narcissist. You can turn the page on your parents. You can turn the page on your narcissistic friends, your narcissistic bosses. You can just turn the page, period. Turn that page and begin, and take the pen while you're at it. As you turn the page, take the pen and begin to write down the type of life that you want, and be bold and be proud of who you are. Because even though you may not feel like it right now, you are an overcomer. You may not feel like it right now, but there is something special about you. And I just wanted to encourage you tonight that, there is healing. There is healing, but you have to be very honest with yourself. There's nobody to impress. We're not keeping up with any Joneses. We're going to look at ourselves, and we're going to nurture ourselves and give ourselves what it is that we need. Because at the end of the day, you live within yourself. And if you do not heal, some of the dangers is that you're not only going to live a substandard life, you're going to miss the mark every single time. You are going to miss the mark every single time on your life, on your goals, on your dreams, on your purpose, on your call, on your assignments. And that's the call, or, you don't want to miss that mark, because there's accountability attached to it, because your life is not your own. And it doesn't matter who you believe in, what you believe. Your life at the end of the day is not your own. You have to go back and serve, but you can't, you can only go so far serving from a broken heart. Heal so that you can be fully effective. Heal so that you can be the best version of yourself. And ultimately, that healing is the biggest clap back. And we're not even thinking about clapping back to the narcissist, because that's low level. That's low level. Think about the one who sent them to be that landmine in your life. Think about that assignment. So, we're moving forward. We're moving on. You're all beautiful people. You're all unique. You're all created on purpose and in purpose. You were fashioned and formed in divinity. And so don't allow some raggedy, dusty narcissist to make you feel that you're less than. I'm here to remind you of who you are and your worth. And so, we're going to keep on moving forward, people. There's so much work that needs to be done. There's so many people that need to hear from you. And it doesn't even matter, what your passion is. Whatever your passion is, I encourage you to go chase it down. Do whatever you have to do. Many people are writing books. Write the book, tell the story, write the song, sing the song, produce the movie. Go ahead and do whatever it is. If you want to be that athlete, be that athlete. You want to be that businesswoman, businessman, be just that. There's so many things, but don't allow other people to come into your life and live in your head. You better evict that joker right now. Like, listen, and that's an automatic eviction. They do not belong in your head. They don't pay any rent to be in your mind anyway. Like, listen, first of all, they're cheap. You got to let them go. And even if they have money, then they want too much for that little money that they're giving you. So you got to let that go also, because at the end of the day, you're also going to be accountable. And you're going to say, oh, but how would I be accountable? Well, because you're on this thing with me right now. And I'm telling you that God said it's time to let it go. And so now you're going to be accountable to that. It's time for you to let it go. It's time for you to let go of the thoughts that are not good for you. There's nothing that you get from this, from holding on to the narcissist or missing them, or no, it's time to focus on you. It's time to focus on you. That's what I want you to do, is focus on you. Focus on who you are. Focus on where you are going. Be intentional with healing, and heal to the point where, and get resources. Like, listen, we are living in an amazing age. I forgot the name that mentioned it earlier, but she said that, these type of videos are becoming popular. But guess what else is becoming popular? Many videos on self-love, many videos on healing the inner child. Many of them are out there. Go grab those ones as you learn about the narcissist, because I think it's important that you do learn so that you're able to stay several steps ahead of them, because they all follow the same path. And, I feel like if you know what you're dealing with, then you can be more skillful in how you fight it. So continue to learn, but develop self-love, learn how to set boundaries, and figure out which boundaries work for you, because what might work for you will not work for me. What works for me might not work for the next person. So your boundaries can be as personal as you want, or as you need them to be. But do those things, and then get to get to working on the next thing, get to the divine or the heavenly version of yourself, because ultimately that's what we want, because that's what they didn't want you to, that's what they never wanted you to reach. And that's what they never wanted you to experience. And so, no, they're not going to get that. They cannot rob us of the gift that you are, because we're more than overcomers through him who loves us. So, it's time for you to tap back and focus on yourself. There's nothing but raggedy dreams going on with the narcissist and the you supply. There's nothing but disappointment on the horizon. There's nothing but failure. And these are facts. It may look like they're winning, but again, like everything that pertains to a narcissist, it's an illusion. It is not real. So if you believe it and you begin to be governed by that, you're being governed by a whole illusion. No, we're not going to waste our time on illusions. You deserve so much better than that. You can have something real, and you can have the love that you really deserve, the love that you desire, but you're not going to get it until you do the work to heal. God is an intentional God. He is not going to give you that quality person that he has for you until you do the work. Why would God take somebody who's done the work, who's healed, and who is ready to love, from a pure, unadulterated place, and give them to somebody who is not ready? I want love. I want a husband one day. I want to grow old with somebody, but I better make sure that I heal so that I don't take any residual mess over there. I don't want to be the one to break it down. And here's the thing, is once you begin to get so in touch with yourself, you learn more about yourself. You get to know that this is not for me. And the beauty about knowing what to say no to, it allows you and it gives you permission to say yes to the things that you truly want. So as much as your no is important, so is your yes, because your no frees you up for the very thing that you want. So it's important that you get to, doing that work so that you can experience that yes that is going to keep on giving you the love that you deserve and the love that you want. So, I just wanted to come here today and encourage you. It is 11:16 here in Dallas, and I've been slightly longer than an hour. Tomorrow is work. And so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but, we can continue the conversation. Well, it's going to be a slightly different conversation, but, I will share Tanya, Just Say No to Narcs, this video on my community board once we go live. But you can always, again, just join her at Just Say No to Narcs, because we are going to be talking, and her show is longer than mine. 7:15 p.m., right, Tanya? 7:15 or 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I can't remember. That's terrible. But, you can definitely come and join us on YouTube as we begin to, as we take the conversation, and begin to go further discussing what's the next step. So she's got a great conversation going on tomorrow, and I'm so excited about joining her for that. But everybody, I thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your time. And listen, no more holding on to this raggedy, dusty narcissist over there, or thoughts of them, because guess what you're doing? You're holding on to raggedy, dusty thoughts yourself. No. You don't deserve that. So I just want to encourage you to continue to seek the best for yourself, because you truly deserve the best. You are, again, fashioned and formed from divinity. And this is not, the narcissist has nothing to do with your divinity or your creation. So continue to be good to yourself. Continue to love yourself and focus forward. Again, abundant amounts of self-love as well as self-compassion. Have some grace to yourself as you begin to walk this, as you continue to walk this walk, and be kind to one another. So I thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So until then, everybody, take care and have a great evening. Have a wonderful Monday. Bye-bye.